Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Daria and today I'm back with another Euro summer travel guide. This time we're focusing on Paris slash south of France. I went not exactly when it was summer, it was like November of 2022 and the weather was so nice. It basically felt like summer. It was like 20 something degrees. It was kind of crazy. I think like end of October, beginning of November. And to this day it's one of my favorite trips ever. So if any of you are planning to go to Paris or south of France this summer, I feel like these recs could totally be still valid for you. So yeah, I wanted to do that. Last video I did Mallorca and Ibiza, which also some of my favorite cities ever, so I'll link that below if you want to check it out. But we're focusing on Paris today. The list is pretty long. I do have all these spots in my highlights, so if you want to see any specifics or like more details about them, you can definitely find them on my Instagram. And I also have the vlogs of these trips on YouTube. They were my first vlogs ever, well, first videos ever. So if you scroll to the bottom of my channel, like 2-ish years ago, that's when I went. I posted them way after I went, like maybe 5-6 months after, but they're definitely there and the first videos on my channel. So yeah, if you want more specifics, you can definitely go see there, but I'll include clips of what the places look like and I'll write out the name of them in case you didn't catch what I'm saying. But yeah, let's get started. Paris, because I'm a content creator, I was looking for places that are good for photo spots, and the first photo spot was Avenue des Camoens. I feel like a lot of influencers have recommended this place for Instagram photos. You just have such a nice view of the Eiffel Tower, and it's, when I went, I guess during summer Paris is probably very crowded, but when I went it wasn't that crowded, and honestly one of my favorite spots to see the Eiffel Tower and take content. And yeah, so that was the first one. And then I also went to the Jardin du Palais Royal. There's a really cute kind of park with a water fountain right in the kind of back of the main place. I don't even know how to describe this place. It has those you guys can see it. You guys can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, the only thing is there were a lot of people there, but it was a great spot. The lighting was really good, so that's where I got a lot of my photos for that day. But yeah, those are probably the main two spots that I would say I recommend for photo in terms of like lighting, and you can definitely get around not having that many people in the back of your photos in these if that's kind of a concern for you. But yeah, obviously not for everyone, but because I'm a content creator, that's kind of where my head is at. And then food spots, I'm not necessarily the biggest foodie. I mentioned this in my other videos, so maybe don't like 100% trust that the food's gonna be spectacular at these places, but we're more so going for vibes. So Café Fleur is where we had, I think not that I didn't really have food there. It was a cute place, but the main thing I liked there was the latte that I had. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was so good. I thought about it like the whole day. So yeah, Café Fleur, it's like somewhat around the Eiffel Tower. And then Café Kitsune, they had a really good chai latte. And yeah, obviously it's more mainstream popular, but it's honestly for me worth the hype. One place I really love was Café Marley. It's in front of the Louvre. The view is stunning. You literally have a view of the Louvre, and it's just, the ambiance is great and the food were good. I had oysters and I don't really like oysters, but they were good there. So Café Marley. This one I feel like everyone and their mother has been to, but Café de Flore. We had the famous hot chocolate and it was really good. Obviously hot chocolate is hot chocolate. I can't say it's like life-changing, but I also had the onion soup and it was actually also really good. So I would highly recommend that place, even though it is a bit like at this point a touristic spot. Then we went for a late night pizza at Firmin. It's kind of also again around the Eiffel Tower, and it was honestly really good. So yeah, Firmin. One spot we went to every single night was the crepe place right in front of the Eiffel Tower. I don't even know what the name of it is. Honestly, it's just like a stand where they sell crepes, and we would have like Nutella crepes every single night. So that was something I definitely like. I've heard people have bad experiences there. Honestly, we had a great time, so I don't know, maybe that's because we're not that pretentious, I guess. But yeah. And then also another place we went to, this is a really food, but it's a bubble tea place called Top Tea. It's around where La Firmin and like all of these places that I said were next to the Eiffel Tower are. that I love my bubble tea. You guys see in my videos that I literally have a bubble tea in every single vlog that I have, and I don't know what it is about that place. So good. We had a bubble tea like once or twice a day every single day there. So, and we were there for 4 days the first time, and then another 3 days like after we did South of France, we went back to Paris. And yeah, if I could recommend any bubble tea place, it's Top Tea. And then restaurants, we went to Monaco, Paris back in 2022. It was a very famous spot. It's the spot where it has a famous like neon sign that says, "Sorry mom, I'm in Paris." Obviously great for photos again, but the food was really good. And then, okay, this one is literally a touristic spot at this place, La Favorite. It's where all those pink flowers are. Again, great for photos, but the food was actually good. So I would recommend it for like a brunch spot. And yeah, loved it. And then lastly, the Dior Cafe. I would say this is more for aesthetics. They did have lattes. They tasted good. Like, it's not that they were bad, but it's obviously more for the aesthetics. And if you enjoy a little bit of luxury, I would definitely recommend the Dior Cafe. And they also have a Dior museum. I'm pretty sure it's still open. When I was there, it was closed, but I would love to go there one day. And I feel like I've heard a lot of people say that it's definitely something worth seeing. So Dior Cafe, Dior Museum. And then touristic spots, obviously you have your basic ones. You have the Arc de Triomphe. If you've seen my vlog, you know that we were fighting for our life trying to figure out how people went, because it's the famous spot where all the cars are kind of just going around in circle. There's no lanes. Like, it's literally a hazard to anyone driving. I don't know if I could ever drive at the spot, but yeah, so apparently to get to it and to go on top, because apparently it's a nice view of Paris from the top of it, you have to go, I'm pretty sure it's an underground tunnel, and then you get to it. But we didn't catch that. We were not getting that. So yeah, we were trying to figure out, we walked like all around trying to figure out how to get there, and then we just kind of gave up. But I heard the view of Paris is very nice from the top of the Arc de Triomphe, so maybe do that if you know how to get there. Obviously the Louvre Museum, it was huge, and we also made the mistake of not really eating before we went, and it's all, I think we spent like 4 hours there and we barely covered it. And obviously we saw Mona. She's tiny, by the way. I think people have kind of catched on to that on socials, because everyone's like, that's how small she is, and there's like 400 people lined up taking selfies in front of it. But yeah, the Mona Lisa is tiny, but she's still worth seeing. And the Louvre Museum is just beautiful, especially if you appreciate the arts. We were a bit too hangry to appreciate them, but we still loved it. But I would definitely say it's worth going to at least once, if not multiple times. And then I guess it's not that touristic, but there's a bookstore called Shakespeare and Company, and it's just such a cute little spot, and people are just so wholesome there. And obviously I've heard a lot of people talk about, that's why I included in the touristic spots, but yeah, everything around it is also really wholesome, really cute. And then obviously the Galleries Lafayette, if you enjoy a little luxury shopping or just enjoy the views, honestly really nice. And from what I remember, the rooftop was also really nice. So Galleries Lafayette, go on the rooftop. Moulin Rouge, we didn't go in because we just like didn't have time, but we went outside and it was basically everything you would expect it to be. And then the Chateau de Versailles, it's a little further away. If I remember correctly, it's like an hour bus ride. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's a bit further away. So gorgeous. Literally 10 on 10 photo spots. It wasn't that crowded when we went, but it was also raining, so I feel like if you go on a sunny day, the gardens are also gorgeous. So it's really an experience. It takes a few hours to kind of go around, and there's multiple buildings. But yeah, if you can go when it's not a rainy day like us, I would say definitely go. And then if you want a great view of the city, go to Montmartre. It's obviously, there's a lot of stairs to climb, and it's on top of the city, but it's very gorgeous. And there's a lot of food spots that we saw. They were all like very booked and busy, so I'm assuming they were good. And terraces, and it was, like I said, end of October, beginning of November, so I'm gonna assume they are popular spots. And then honorable mention, we didn't really go clubbing, but the Boom Boom Club, I honestly don't know how the clubbing scene is in Paris. I haven't heard too much about it. I've heard some people complain about it on TikTok, but again, like, I wouldn't really know. But we did say we were gonna leave at 1 a.m. and we left at 5, and we had our flight / train out of Paris at like 10 a.m. So yeah, we did. We definitely enjoyed it. It was a great experience. So yeah, I would say that club also gets a honorable mention. And then that was it for Paris. Like I said, I spent 4 days and then went to south of France and then back to Paris for 3 days. Now, south of France, genuinely one of the most beautiful places ever. I think everyone would agree on that. First spot we're going to talk about is Monaco. I had so much love for that city for obvious reasons, but not just for like the luxurious part and the nice cars and like, you know, the center of Monaco. The views of the city are just so beautiful. Obviously there's a million stairs, so we were fighting for our life to kind of go up and down them the whole day, but the views were just absolutely gorgeous. And we went around and we like climbed up to see the city, and I just like wholeheartedly recommend going to Monaco if you have the chance. And it's honestly a small place, like you can see it all in a day. Yeah, so we took a day trip, so all of this we saw in one day. Obviously there's a casino, Monte Carlo, there's like the famous hotel next to it, that's where all the nice cars are, the valet, you guys know the drill. And then when we went down to the port, obviously stunning boats, there was a fair going on. I don't know if that's like a summer thing, like I don't know, but there was a fair and we felt like children, but it was so much fun. And then obviously the luxury shopping is amazing. I literally have, well, I have the vlogs, like I said, of everything. I got my Dior saddlebag there, and the experience of shopping in the luxury store is unmatched. Because everyone I think has heard me complain about luxury shopping in Montreal and how treatment is questionable, but everyone there at every store were 100% helpful, very nice, very respectful. So I highly recommend, even if you're just browsing, the luxury shopping is obviously amazing. And then we went to the Princess Grace Botanical Garden. It was just, and mind you, like it was literally October 31st, I think I went to Monaco, and everything was just so neatly done. The city is immaculately clean, and yeah, great views from that place as well. And then the Place du Palais, I'm pretty sure that's where you could see, I'm trying to remember the views, but I know for a fact it was stunning views, and everything, honestly everything about Monaco I just absolutely loved. So highly recommend going. And even if you're just walking around, like we didn't really have a set itinerary, we just went based off of vibes, and it was a great time. Then we went to Antibes for a day. Again, we literally had zero plans in the city. All we did was walk around the old town. They did have a beach called La Gavrette that was nice, and they had another fair and we went to the fair again. But honestly, just the old town in general, very nice. I know there's a famous hotel in Antibes, if I'm not mistaken, the Cap Rocat, hold on, the Cap Eden Rock, that's the famous hotel. We didn't go to it, but I know that it's there. Honestly, we just like walked around and that was good enough for us. And it was like the boats were almost more iconic in Antibes than they were in Monaco. Like everyone had their boats there. It was really great. And then we went to Cannes. I think it was pretty busy. Again, we didn't really have like plans. We went to the Plage Royale, and like the weather was so good, we were literally tanning at the end of October. So we just honestly went at a great time. We ate at Cafe Hush, which I think is probably like mainstream. I probably saw it on Instagram, I honestly don't remember, but the food was good. And yeah, we went to the port, and obviously the stairs of where the film festival is. I feel like when it's not obviously done up, it was kind of underwhelming. I don't know, it just like they look so much smaller in real life than they do when you're looking at paparazzi photos or whatever photos online. But yeah, I would say for us, like Cannes wasn't that groundbreaking. It was nice, but after seeing Monaco and just vibing in the Antibes, it wasn't like that spectacular, but I would still recommend going. And obviously there's I'm pretty sure the restaurant La Guérite is in Cannes, I think. But yeah, so honestly there's like a lot to see there. We just like weren't as, this obviously all a few days into our trip, we were a little more a rundown. But yeah, then we went to Nice. Well, actually Nice is the central place where we stayed, and then we took the train to Cannes and Monaco and Antibes. So we did stay there for, I want to say, a few days, but like we didn't spend that much time in Nice. I would say maybe 2 full days there, but we did go to a few food spots. One of them that was really cute was called Le Garibaldi. From what I remember, the food was good, and it was just very aesthetic, and it was in the middle of these historical looking buildings, and it was cute. And then we went to, there was a pink looking, like everything was pink looking restaurant on kind of the main, one of the main streets, and it was called Café Bélanger, no, Ballanger. And we had crepes there, and it was really good. Obviously we love some crepes. This is the second time I mentioned crepes in this video, so yeah, it was very nice. And then we had some iconic sushi at this place called Saint Amour, and I don't even know if I got footage of them, but they were so good and so unique, so I would also recommend going there. And then if you want a really nice view of all of Nice, I would recommend going on to the Collines du Château. You do have to climb up some stairs, but it's not that hard. It's not that many stairs. And yeah, you have a really nice view of Nice on both sides of the city. There's kind of like the older-ish part of town and like the, I guess, newer-ish. We kind of stayed on the newer side, kind of where the we were close to the Hotel Negresco, which also was very beautiful. I recommend going to as well. And yeah, just walking through the old town and all of the cute stores. There's like markets every day. It's just a really wholesome experience. Obviously there's more, I would say, children and families in Nice than other places, but again, it's really not a problem. The beach though, the only problem with it that we had was that it was fully rocks. So when we did go tanning for a day, we were fighting for our life to sit down because it's genuinely just rocks. So yeah, not even like rocky, just straight up rocks. So I wouldn't say it's the best like lounging place unless you get like lounging chairs at a beach club. But it was October, November, so none of them were really open when we went, even though it was like 26 degrees. But yeah, so I would say the beach isn't ideal for tanning, but it was still a nice beach, and again, Nice was just cute, so I recommend going there as well, and it wasn't that expensive. So yeah, I think that wraps up our little France Euro summer travel guide, even though I didn't go technically during summer. But yeah, Paris, definitely 100% go. Honestly, go to any of the places I mentioned in this video. Let me know if there's other places that you have that you liked, either cities or places in the cities. I haven't been again in like 2.5 years, so I definitely need to go back. And yeah, I'm gonna continue this series. I don't know what cities I'm gonna do next. I know there's like London, I have Vienna, I have Budapest, I have Malta. I will try to do one for every single city I've been for you guys. You guys have been doing Euro summers for like 10 years, so it might be a little too long. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've been to any of these places, if you love them, if you hate them, what your feedback is. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in next week's video.